You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at Tony Basilio.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, on the program, we got the great Watson Brown coming up here in a mere matter of, about 20 minutes. In the meantime, I got the great Sean Sinclair with me. I got Brian Hartman. We have lots and lots to discuss as we're picking up the pieces. Here you go, sweetie. Picking up the pieces from last night's loss at Missouri. Picking up the pieces from last night's loss. That's what we're doing. I was up till 3 a.m. last night. I had trouble going to sleep. After, I don't know, doing a post-game show that ended at 12:30 or something. It's hard for me. You have to kind of do what we're doing here, but when you get that adrenaline going, it's got to go through you sometimes. And that's kind of where I was last night. The adrenaline had to go through me and make its way down through me. And meantime, my dog had a tummy ache, and that was kind of disturbing to watch her do that on my floor. So here we are. Sean Sinclair, buenas to you. Matt Dixon said shout out to the few, the proud that endured the baseball and the basketball yesterday. Cinco, I want to begin with you with this baseball team. What do you make of these guys early on here in this Fred Funk Jr. that these guys are in?
Well, I see a lot of potential. I'm not going to be negative on those guys, not from a fluffing or just want to have an Elander celebration or anything like that. I think when you take a look at it, this whole starting roster pretty much flipped on us. And you have a lot of young guys that were bit players last year. Your Marin guy, I know he played a lot, but he was able to just hit in the mid to upper 200s. Some other guy, Newstrom was a guy that came in and hit a little bit. Grimmer, which I keep hearing all sorts of stuff about Blake Grimmer, but you know he flashed in his first 2 years. So I'm not. I trust that they know what they're doing. But anyway, you got transfers coming in trying to fit in. You have young guys that are trying to step into the roles of some superstars before. And it's just going to take a little time. We talked about last time. It's going to take time on the mound. It's going to take time in the box when they're hitting. But I believe it's going to come around. The things that I see that encourage me, I think the pitching staff's fantastic. I love the way, albeit Stone Lawless is having some problems, and I think that needs to be addressed. He may not be the answer there, but I like the way the pitching staff is paying attention to runners.
Yep.
Overall, I think the defense, it's had something. You know, Marin had a tough night the other day. Third base is just going to be a deal here. Remember, Henry Ford's not a third baseman; he's a first baseman.
That's right.
But he's playing third because they think Levi Clark can be a superstar. We'll see about that. He's still part of that sophomore class. that had a couple of weeks of greatness last year, and then several months of eh. So we'll see. But he's better defensively than Billy Amick ever thought of being.
Oh, I don't think there's any.
We're okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's any.
And then
doubt.
they're trying to find their best 9. I mean, they're moving people around. They're trying to find guys that can hit.
Yep.
So we're not used to losing. It's easy to say Vitello's not here. The ship's sinking.
Oh, it's
unbelievable. I think this team's got a lot of potential.
Yep.
And I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be a regional, super regional team, and we'll just see how the hitting goes if they're contenders to go to Omaha.
I was talking to the great Will Heflin today, who's just dropped another great episode of Starting Rotation. And Will's going to come on with us tomorrow with Matt, and we're going to discuss where the team is. But Will said to me today, he said, look, this baseball season's a long season, and it's a process season. He said, and if I could script it the way I would like to script it, you play your best baseball at the end of the year. He said, and these guys have a long, long way to go. Now, are there worry areas? Sure there are. But I want to remind everybody that, because we have a tendency to be pretty myopic here, all fan bases do. If you look around what happened yesterday, UCLA got beat by a mid-major. Arkansas got beat by, I want to say, Arkansas State. Arizona State trashed somebody who we play on Saturday. They're pretty good right now. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is mid-major teams are beating the major teams. I was texting with Chris Burke about this today. Burke, what's going on? And look, I'm just here to provide a little bit of, like David Speaks saying. You got UCLA, you got LSU, you got Arkansas, and Oklahoma all got beat yesterday by mid-major teams. And what Burke told me is, what you have to understand is, a lot of the mid-major teams are following the Indiana model. They're going into Division II baseball. They're going into 1AA type teams or lower level Division I, and they're getting older players. And when you look at Tennessee's team, one of the things that was said today to me by Heflin is, for the most part, this is a really young baseball team. And they've got room to grow. They've got room to grow. And some of these guys are eventually going to hit. So, some of these guys are going to hit. And the point is that when you start looking at the sport itself kind of is taking on a football feel. Who's on LSU's team? Bunch of kids. Who's on some of these other teams that you're growing a different roster? And these mid-major teams are a bunch of established players or guys at smaller levels that are really hungry. One thing that Dave and Ackworth said about last night's game, and I think it bears repeating here. I wrote it in the blog today, but I want to really blog on it. Tennessee basketball is a hunted. They are a brand. They are a pelt on the wall. By the way, Bri, your boy Easton Hayes, I had to put him in a 30-minute timeout, Bri, before the show was a minute and a half old. He got on my damn nerves. What do you think of that, Bri? I put him in 30-minute timeout. It says up here in true Holly fashion that he has been timed out for 1.8 thousand seconds, Bri. AKA 30 minutes, Holly. That's 30 minutes to me and you, Holly. Bri, do you have a comment on Easton Hayes being put in 30-minute timeout? And do you have a thought, Bri? My second thought for you is on how Missouri played that game last night like it was the 7th game of the World Series to them.
Easton's a sheep, and you're on the road midweek, 9 o'clock start for you. against a team that's desperate, and you only lose by 4 in a game you were up by 10 in. So the sky isn't falling.
No. Now it was an idiotic basketball game, and it was stupid, and it was hard to watch. See, that's the thing, Sean, about the baseball team right now is that the baseball team, their calling card when they got real hot here, okay, in our community, was hammering people, doing it with style, doing it with a smile on their face. And with this group right now that they have, even the Bellarmine game, nothing is coming easy for them. And I mean nothing is coming easy, Sean. Nothing.
Well, no. But the things that are encouraging to me is that over the past week or so, that you take a look at whether these guys are hitting the ball on the screws. They're just hitting it into the defense. They're just hitting it right to the guy. So the guy, I don't know. You don't put a steering wheel on the ball once you make contact with it. The skilled guys can obviously play to different fields, but it's not like they're striking. I don't have the stats here, but my perception is they're making contact, and they're making extremely solid contact.
Yep.
They're just hitting it to guys, and
yep.
That's going to happen. I mean, there was one inning yesterday where the infield robbed, I think it was Myatt and one other guy, with absolutely unbelievable diving catches by middle infielders.
Great plays.
Scored balls.
Yep. And a couple of the their opponent played well. Their opponent over the weekend. Yep.
Don't sleep on them. That's a good quality program.
Yes, sir. Now here's the issue, because there's always an issue. As Mark Griffin would say, here's the big but. All that said, Taylor says the Vols are the 13th youngest team in the league. That kind of tracks, because they have some transfers, but for the most part, they got a bunch of kids out there getting used to playing at this level, but they're wearing that Tennessee uniform. I remember a couple years ago, Sean, when you asked Evan Russell, you said, "Hey, these guys are wearing that uniform for last year's team." And it's a rough go. It's a rough go. I wonder who's calling me. Hello, can I help you? Hello? Hi? Thanks. Appreciate you calling. It's a rough go. The truth is, the baseball team, that name on the jersey, you don't think that they felt like when they were driving back up there to Ohio over the weekend that they thought that they could have walked there, that they were on top of the world, floating on the clouds over what had just happened? Hey, Brian, let me ask you something. This Estrella guy, thinking about last night, how old did he look?
Just trying to contrast how he looked before he got hurt and then how he looked last night. And I don't know that he can get back to what they need him to be in the next few days, because he had a good game against Alabama down there, and they need him to have another good game against Alabama up here. And I don't think that's something that you just all of a sudden is going to look like it's normal in short order.
For the living listener that fell asleep, and I'm wanting to right now, Estrella last night, they threw him a ball on the block, and he literally looked like, if you're at a family reunion, okay, and somebody in their 60s goes out there to play with the kids, and they throw up one of those old, like, Bill Russell hook shots. That's what he did. And it looked just like a 60-year-old man. Brian, describe what the ball did when it was thrown toward the goal, what that shot looked like.
It didn't go in the basket, I can tell you that.
The basket? It hit the rim like a Scud missile back in the day. It looked like Scuddy Woolridge. It didn't go in the basket. Yeah, that's descriptive. It literally.
That's accurate too.
It tested the integrity of the backboard itself. What are we doing? Here's my thing about Estrella. I'm not sure it's fair to play him last night. That's a conclusion I've come to. Buddy of mine texted me, and he's getting all over me for saying that Estrella had NBA ability. At one time, he did. Maury Hanks was on here the other day talking about it. At one time. But the problem is, as Maury said, when you watch him now, it looks like he's got the body of a 35-year-old. And that's rough. When your body doesn't cooperate in one of these sports, it is, it's a tough deal. It's a tough deal. And I feel for him because it isn't like he's not playing hard. It isn't like he's not trying. Hey, Sean, something I want to ask Watson about. Now that Joey Aguilar has lost his court case and we know that we're going to see something different at quarterback, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting reports that McIntyre's gained a little weight already. I'm getting reports that this new strength and conditioning coach has made it his responsibility to stay on this kid. He's on him like white on Rodney Rice, okay? Like right on rice, the old saying goes. Could it
I
be...
think a couple of things. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, could it be... You're getting tired, Tony, today. Could it be a blessing in disguise that this kid now knows, hey, the opportunity to walk out of that tunnel for that first game and walk through from Nashville, where I grew up, and to walk out of that, run through the tee as the starting quarterback at the University of Tennessee. How many players, we've been playing football, Bri, for about 30 years now? How many guys have walked and run through the power tee, Bri, in 130 years as the starting quarterback, Bri, for the first game? How many people are there on the planet, Bri, that have done it? Let me help you out. About 130. That's got to motivate you. That's got to motivate you. That is select company, if you think about it, through the annals of history. Sean, could it end up being a blessing?
It can be a blessing if he takes it in the right spirit. I mean, the exact same thing happened to Jake Merklinger last year. The starting job was basically gifted to him by default, and when Nico left, and he didn't do much with it. So you either pressure builds diamonds or pressure, bursts pipes. But it can be, and what I've heard is, and it may be through you, I don't know, is that the new strengthening coach and Knowles and his hires have totally added a big win to the sale of this program. It's it's hard to say that in 5 years, 6 years, you can be stagnant, but this program, I hate to say it, was stagnant.
I said a year ago, I thought they were losing
They've absolutely added some juice to the program.
I said a year ago, my sense was that they were losing altitude. People didn't want to hear it. Sean, I was right. They were losing altitude. They needed a change. They needed something different. This head coach needed a shake-up. This head coach needs people around him that are going to challenge him. And this strength and conditioning coach is a tough guy. And he's basically, my understanding is he's weighing GMAC pretty much every day. Pretty much every day. And they've given him he's got an eating coach, and they're putting him through his paces. Brian, how would you like to have an eating coach? Would you enjoy that? Somebody to cook your breakfast and bring it to your bed. I said, I'm looking for a love. Great Bobby Womack tune. Very sexist. But Brian, what do you think? Talk to me here.
I am my own eating coach. So
hey, if you're not
works out
familiar,
well.
If you're not familiar with Hewitt Pruitt, I hope he's listening.
He's in here right now. He's a clown.
Yeah.
He said, whenever I went to one of my ex-wife's reunion, I looked around and thought to myself, somewhere there's a carnival running itself. Do you have any idea what that means, Cinco?
No, but he was it's not his real name. That's a
He's
character
a clown.
he plays.
He's a
awesome,
punk and a clown. Give me his real name, Sean.
He was a manager with me
Let's
back
out
in the
him.
day.
Let's out him on the air because he said some controversial things over in the chat. Let's out him, Sean.
No, I'll let him do himself. But his initials are CL. That's all I'll give you. But nonetheless, he had this meme. I guess it was the funniest damn thing. If you can picture this, when Butch Jones hired a sleep coach. and he made a meme of Khalil McKenzie in bed and this old grizzled coach with a megaphone going, "Go to sleep." I wish he could I wish he could pull it up here and let everyone see it. It was freaking hilarious.
No offense to major college sports, but we got people getting paid right now to get paid because we have so much money in it. You watch these college basketball games, and look, I'm all for the working man. I am the working man. I was talking to a man, Joel, yesterday, Proper Popcorn, and they got a great small business going, and they're looking at doing something with us, and God bless Joel. He's listening to the show right now, but we're out here working. You got to stay lean and mean when you're you, Cinco, with what you're doing. You got to stay lean and mean at these universities. They got the sleep coach. They got the eating coach. They got the breathing coach. You had Butch Jones.
Hydration coach.
Hydration. You had Butch Jones delivering smoothies to the library, for the guys allegedly that were in there studying. Listen, if that would have been me.
Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Not only that, sorry. Butch Jones had pictures of urine color in the bathroom so that what shade of yellow, amber, etc. He had those taped up to make sure that and they all had to carry around those gallon jugs of water.
Yes.
And you were supposed to compare your, like you're looking at water results from your pool.
Yes.
With chlorine. You had to sit there and check that out and look at that to make sure you could figure out. So he had a urine coach.
Yeah, Derek Dooley showing people how to use a bar soap, which is okay with me. I mean, because you're teaching somebody, hey, you every once in a while, you got to get back there and, shall we say, take that bar of soap and grind it out, if you know what I mean. And that's a good thing to teach somebody. Brian, you know what I'm talking about?
Grind it out in the shower.
I use liquid, not the bar, but the stuff the liquid, the regular, whatever it's called.
Appreciate
not
you sharing.
Liquid soap.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet.
Watson Brown after this.
Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't much rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Newsflash, Basilio listeners, the spring real estate market just moved up. Yes, it's chilly outside and you're still in your puffy coat, but if you need to sell your East Tennessee property, you could be the hottest house on the block. Hi there. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. February is the sweetheart month of real estate, and savvy sellers know exactly what that means. Get ahead of the game and give me a call at 865-694-5904 or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols!
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Achillio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company. I'm saying it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm knowing it. And I'm looking at my pad here and I'm writing it down. And what am I doing? Well, I'm telling you right now that it's about that time. Because when we break it down scientifically, we break it down scientifically on here. And when we really get super scientific, there's one thing we do. Now, Cinco and myself have talked off the air many, many a time. When you get to hang out with one of the coolest cats on the planet, on a weekly basis with a V, there's nothing like it. And I get to hang out with the great George Plaster once a week, which is pretty cool. But George Plaster ain't got nothing on Watson Brown. And listen, And I love me some Mark Griffin. And I love me some Sean Sinclair. And I love me some Bino Jeff. There's nothing like the great Watson Brown. And I love me some John Adams. I mean, we're blessed to have some great people around us here. It's a Wednesday with Watson Brown presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. He's a cut above. Watson, how you doing?
Guys, I'm doing great, and you do have a great show. So it's an honor to always be on it.
Whatever. I'm a complete simpleton, Watson. You know, the late, great John Ward told me one time when I was a young broadcaster, John, how do you do it? He said, fake it till you make it, my son. Which is a great line. He said, I said, how do you do it? How do you do it, John? He said, just be a bigger phony than I am. I said, all right, you got it. And he just kind of walked away. He kind of walked away from me with that John Ward humor. And as a young kid, I'm sitting there going, did he mean that? Or, you know, maybe he meant that. Watson, as I talk to you about, you know, it's very interesting. Since we last talked, it looked like Joey was, people thought at one point, oh, well, he got the TRO, going to win a suit. Tennessee's going to have a thing where they got two young quarterbacks in the spring, and they get to kind of let them stretch out their feet and get used to what they're doing with the idea that, hey, we're going to roll the veteran out there in the summer and let him play. That's off the table now. Do you think behind closed doors there's a sense of relief, or is there a sense of dread that this has happened? Put yourself in Heupel's shoes right now and the staff shoes. Relief or dread?
Oh, relief. 100%. It stabilizes everything. The worst thing for a coach is instability. Well, if this happens, we got to do this. If this happens, we got to do that. That's the worst thing about coaching college football is instability and guessing on what might go down. And so, no, I think that now that it's all said and done, they roll their sleeves up and they're ready to go to work. Tony, these two guys were handpicked that are in this program. They absolutely handpicked them. First picks, in my opinion, of what they wanted. And if they're as good as they thought when they signed them, they're going to be in great shape. And I think they both are. I think they're both really good players. And so I think they're excited about seeing how far they can take both these guys.
Since 1888, my friends at Simpson's Meats are a family tradition. Raising, sourcing their meat, farms and pasture to purpose. You got to taste the difference. Whether it's the steaks or the burgers or the sausage or the roast, the chicken. Variety of local offerings at their local butcher shop. Here's the thing. You can ship it anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. And several hundred people out of this audience have. So thank you for supporting people that support us. And they love bringing you Watson Brown on Wednesdays. And Watson, you're going to have another shipment coming to you soon from our friends at Simpson's Meats. Where, if you want to buy in bulk, they sell half and quarter cows as well. Which sounds like a good thing to do. Now, Watson, if I buy a half cow, does that mean I have to cut it up? Or is that a cut up half cow? Or is that like a...
That's a cut up half cow.
Okay, thank you.
They cut it up.
Okay, thank you. I was just...
They do. They're not going to bring it and lay it on your back porch and say, deal with it.
I get this. You know, I get this picture in my head of something hanging in my basement. All right, so Watson Brown joining. We're breaking it down scientifically. Cinco, do you agree with that? That there's probably internally, though they won't say this out loud, some relief that we have a decision. The two youngsters now know I'm free to move about the cabin and really seriously compete for this job, because I want to talk about some of the developments that have gone on since then. Sean, do you agree with Watson there?
Well, I do. And I'll say this. I'm not a coach, haven't been a coach, but I would imagine the big thing, besides winning, I would imagine that Coach Brown would say his greatest joy is being able to watch one of his students or players mature and get better day by day. And, you know, we've been going through this thing of finding guys in the transfer thing. And Joey Aguilar a stopgap, and then trying to get a $6 million guy. As Coach said, these guys were handpicked. They chose them over other people. That was their number one guy in each year. And now I think the joy of coaching comes in. Now you get to sculpt that clay exactly the way you want to.
Yep.
So yes, I do.
You know, Watson, we have a caller named Negative. He always sees the negative in everything, so we name him Negative. And recently, his father passed away, and I went to the receiving of friends along with Bino Jeff Henderson.
That's me.
Yeah, we represented the show and wanted to show Dave we loved him. But when I met his wife, I said, Nega Sheila, and I hugged her. And because she knows how negative her husband, but I've taken him under wing. I've decided I'm gonna coach him up. We suspended him for a week last week for being too negative, and so I might come to you for some pointers. In fact, I just put a guy in timeout for 30 minutes. I'm trying to hard coach some people here, Watson.
You're doing good. A little discipline in the program.
There you go. We got a little discipline in the program. I got to ask you this though: there's a new strength and conditioning coach. And my understanding is that he set up frequent visits throughout the week with George. He's made George one of his top priorities. He's the guy that helped Mendoza completely transform his body from one year to the next. A more remarkable transformation. Obviously, this guy's somebody that really knows his science. Obviously, somebody really gifted in what he does. Tennessee made him the highest paid coach, strength and conditioning coach in the country. You were telling me off the air, you kind of get the sense that they hired this guy with the whole quarterback project in mind. Talk to me here.
I think that was the number one conversation when they talked with him. Is we've got a quarterback here that's outstanding, and he's missing one piece. It's weight and strength, and can you help me with that, and how will you go about it? And now that leads to the rest of your program. That doesn't mean he's going to fix one guy. And so I think that's exactly why he was hired, and I'm going to bet you see a difference in the whole team, that they're in better shape, bigger and stronger guys. We all don't give enough shout out to strength and conditioning coaches. To me, it's the top hire. It is your top hire over both coordinators. It's your top hire. They're around your players more than anybody, and it ain't even close. They're with them all the time. You don't hire a strength coach just for physical. You hire them for mental toughness and physical toughness and physical strength and mental strength. That's what they're hired for. They're not just body people. They're mind people, too. I worked with the great Doc Crease at Vanderbilt. And I'm telling you, I watched him get in the heads probably double what he did with the bodies. He was really good with the kids that way. And once they trusted him, like I tell you all the time, for a kid to respond to you, he has to trust you and he has to respect you. Both of those pieces have to be there. And once they did with Doc, it took off. It just took off. So I don't think those guys get near the credit that they deserve. And I think some coaches keep them too long when they're not getting it done. So I think that is a huge hire and could be the piece that lets this program take another step.
How much credibility would he have in the eyes of a GMAC with what he did with Mendoza? Do you think that helps, the fact that this guy comes in with, and Owings is who we're talking about, but the resume, I mean, they're at the top, literally at the top of the sport. You couldn't hire a hotter coach than a guy off that Indiana team. Indiana football, Watson, physically whipped everybody. The Indiana Hoosiers physically whipped everybody, and we weren't like in another dimension.
No, and like I talk respect and trust to you guys all the time. It's a lot easier to gain respect quick when you have a resume walking in the door. Mm-hmm. You can gain respect two ways. You can gain it after you get there, or you can keep it after you walk in the door. If you walk in the door with great respect, it's easier to hold on to that respect, and it takes less time to get them on board and get them going. So resume does matter, and his resume is complete, and now he's got to do it again. That's the one great thing about it. you can get labeled, you get an image, but you have to keep that image. And if you rest on your laurels with that image is going to disappear. So he's got to come in and do it again. And I think he will. But I do think it is the most important hire. Everybody talks about the defensive coordinator. I think it's the biggest hire he's made since he's been in Tennessee.
Hey, Sean, Big Dog in Tennessee called in last night and said he had to take some time off from Tennessee sports. It's sort of the Vanderbilt game really, really punched a hole in his Tennessee heart. He admitted to us last night. And I guess when you get run over like that, you can go one of two ways with your program. It might turn out to be a real blessing in disguise, Sean, that happened to Josh Heupel in year 5. We might look back at that as a blessing in disguise, Sean.
Well, exactly. I mean, they talk in, I think it's applicable here, that you can either get tapped on the shoulder to get your attention, or you can take a 2x4 upside your head. One way or another, you're going to get, your attention is going to be grabbed by the failures or what is less than in your program.
Yeah, it's interesting.
2x4.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, Watson? When you think about, and I'm sure at different times in your career you had to reassess and course correct, and it's got to be a very difficult thing to course correct and say, hey, what I'm doing here is not going to work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You've nailed a huge piece. And it's happened to me more than once where I had to go home, close the door, and say, okay, let's reassess this thing here. Mm-hmm. This ain't working. Now, you don't walk out and tell everybody.
No.
But you do, and when you change, it's usually to the good, because you've finally been honest with yourself and looked in the mirror and said, you ain't getting it done. This ain't working. Whether it's a change of offense, change of recruiting thoughts, change of culture a little bit, change of coaches.
Yep.
Whatever it might be, till you accept the fact you need some change, then it ain't going to happen. So, yeah, I think you're absolutely right, and Sean hit it perfect. Sometimes it takes a 2x4 to get you to look in the mirror and say, this ain't working.
Well, I'll give you a good example here close to home. This young lady coach in the Lady Vols came here extremely cocky with her system, 100% sure it was going to work, implemented it in the first year. It looked like she was on to something, no question. John Adams yesterday shared with us, which I didn't realize. I looked it up yesterday. He's right. They're not doing the hockey substitutions like they were before.
No.
Because
they're not. I've watched them a bunch.
Yeah, because
they're not doing it as much. They're still doing it, but they're not doing it as much.
Right. She's letting her star players play. They're playing 30-plus minutes now.
Yeah.
Instead of this even Steven thing, which tells me, and she hasn't said it out loud, but it tells me that she's decided to course correct here. She's learned, hey, I could either play my way and get my face blown off every night, which, hey, I mean, you're free to do that as a coach. Keep doing what you're doing and expect a different result. And they say that's the definition of insanity. Or you can kind of get behind closed doors, get your staff together and go, okay, what are we going to do here? Because we have issues. She's kind of course corrected, hasn't she?
She has, and I think she's going to do it more. What I think happened, watching them a little bit, that I don't have to hear other people talking about, I don't think they're in great shape because they hadn't played a lot of minutes. You can run and practice all you want, but you got to get game conditioning. Same thing in football. You can go out there and do all you want to do, but till you play a game and you got those pads on and you're getting knocked down every play, not knocked down in a 5-minute period, and then you don't get hit again for another 15.
Yep.
So there's a game conditioning, and I don't think they have been in great shape because they're not playing enough to get in it. I've dealt with a little bit of what she does with Mike Anderson as my basketball coach at UAB.
Yep.
They played this style at UAB and very successful. He rolled them in and he pressed the whole game. It was the 40 minutes of hell that Arkansas did, and But he changed as it went along. As he got better jobs, got more of the high-profile player, Mike was smart enough to make the changes too. So I've seen this take place, and I think she will. I think she's sharp. I think she is not got this heavy ego that she won't look in a mirror and look at herself. And so I'm pulling for her. I like her. I don't know her, but I like watching her. And I really am pulling for her. She's got a very tough job. We talked about that last week. A very tough job. Nobody has come close to Pat Summitt yet, guys. Nobody.
I'll tell you this.
Nobody's come close. And so I'm pulling for her because I want to see that program get back to Pat Summitt, because I thought a lot of Pat. I went in the Tennessee Hall of Fame with her. I was in the same class with her and in the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame. So I'm pulling for somebody to get girls basketball, women's basketball back at Tennessee.
I'm of the belief Pat Summitt could have coached anything she wanted to coach, Watson.
Ain't no doubt. No, she had the confidence, that mentality.
Yep.
She had a way of being very tough on them, but they loved her. And I think the two pieces I talk to you all about all the time, that respect and trust was there with her players 100%.
Well, they say that they hated at times being under her, like you hear her former players talk.
Oh, no doubt.
But they didn't. But now they wouldn't change a minute of it. Now that they're adults, now that they're functioning adults, and they realize this is why this lady did what she did with us.
Well, it's absolutely true, and the ones that do it in a tough love way.
Yep.
There's a lot of ways to coach your teams, a lot of ways to win games. Her way was a tough love, and tough love, you got to win. But once it's all over, you look back, and they know she made them mentally and physically tougher people as they got. And once you get out in the real world, Tony, you realize what she was doing happens to you every day. It happens to you every day. We all are going along smiling, everything's great, and all of a sudden the world hits you right between the eyes.
Oh.
And you got to get up and go again. And when you've got something to go back to for your inner being and your confidence and everything, man, that's what she's told them through all those years. You're going to understand why I'm doing this. You're going to understand it later in life. You're going to get that.
I call it the value of sport, Watson. There's a value.
No, it is, and I told my kids that, all the players that all the time.
Yep.
You're going to understand. You don't now. Just do it. You don't. I get it, but do it. And I can't tell you how many through the years have called me and said thanks. And that was the way I was brought up. I had a high school coach that way. He was an old Marine. He was tougher than nails. And I spoke at his funeral. He meant the world to me. He was my second dad. I didn't know it in high school, but I sure knew it later on. Every time I got any kind of trouble, Tony, who's the phone call I made to? Either my dad or him. That was my two calls. If I got in trouble and needed help with something.
God, what a remarkable tribute. Hey, Sean, you know what? This whole conversation kind of, when you see these people course correct, and because it shows some self-awareness to be able to do that. You don't have to say to everybody that you're course correcting. And then I think back to the Butch Jones era, Cinco, who we literally watched in slow motion totally lose his team, lose his deal, lose everything around him, though he had pretty good players, Sean. Isn't that an interesting thing to think back to? Because his kids quit believing him, and he never course corrected. He never did it. He was always sure that what he was doing was the right thing.
Well, now that I'm an old man and looking back, there seems to be a lot of coaches that get to the top because they've been in the system. They've kind of worked their way up. They're known for this. They're known for that. And that's just what they do. They have a system.
Yep.
And then there are a few, and they just happen to be the best. And you can like them or not, like the schools or not, but you take a look at Bear Bryant. You take a look at Nick Saban. You take a look at You take a look at Krzyzewski over at Duke. These are folks that were at the top of their game, saw trends or anticipated things changing, and then went out and changed their program to elevate them to another level or to stay on top. And that's what makes a great coach, not just knowing a system, but being able to roll with the punches and take. You could have thrown, I believe this, you could have thrown anything at Nick Saban, and he would have figured out quickly how to manipulate that new rule and how to take advantage of it and how to be the best at it. I truly believe that.
Until he saw that NIL and said, screw this, I'm too old for this. I ain't. Who can blame him?
That was the great equalizer, of course.
Yeah, and who can blame him?
Yeah.
You know, Watson, that's the thing that's so remarkable to me about Rick Barnes, watching him last night. And look, Barnes' teams have their moments. As Watson Brown presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. They're online at simpsonsmeats.com. They also have a tremendous butcher shop in West Knoxville. It's kind of incredible what they do. If you go by and you see all the offerings at their local butcher shop, right there off Level Road. And again, half cows, quarter cows available. They'll ship meat anywhere in the world for you. And when you're ready to get that special treat, hey, if you're having a little watch party for the Bama game this weekend, you know what I mean? It's going to be a little warm this weekend. Fire it up, folks, and prepare it. Maybe you're watching the baseball Vols over on Flow Sports. I'm going to teach you a little hustle and flow workaround here in a little bit. But, Watson, we were talking about just last night. Tennessee goes into a gym in a sleepy spot. They had a great win over Vanderbilt. But they take on this Missouri team. They get up 12-2 early in the game. It looks like they're going to put this opponent away. And then they just kind of go to sleep, which is college basketball. It's a maddening sport. It drives you nuts. It makes you angry. It made me pull my hair out, Watson. That's what happened to me. But, this Rick Barnes guy has made, when Tennessee comes to your gym, it's a real thing. Like, he's way elevated what this program has been. He's elevated it to the point where that's a huge win for Missouri last night. I would imagine that's difficult to go through a season being marked like the Vols are.
No, and you earn that. There's nothing given, and if it is given, you better find a way to hold on to it. But nothing is given. You earn everything you do, and Coach Barnes has coached a certain way his whole career. I respect him deeply too. Got to know him a little bit through Texas, my brother, and they play a style. It's the way he plays, it's the way he wins, and they're going to beat you with their defense and their rebounding. They always have struggled in finding enough points, and they run into shells to where they can't score. That's been the past. But they just play such great defense. I mean, look at the defense in the last two games.
Yep.
Both on the road and holding both of those teams in the 60s, who are both high-scoring teams with a lot of really good players on them. And I respect that. I think they're dealing with a little bit of the same thing with the George McIntyre piece, personally. I think the young freshman that makes all their plays is about wore out. It's been a long year, and he's not very physical yet. Yep. And now people are banging the fool out of him. I really thought the refs let it go at Vanderbilt, which Vanderbilt took major advantage of and just pushed and shoved and hit him and slapped his arms and everything you could do, and it flat wore him out. He looked really, really tired at the end of that game. And he's a great player, going to be even a greater player, and he's going to gain strength too. I was watching a little bit of film of Michael Jordan the other day. Mm-hmm. The look of him in his early college days and the look of him with the Bulls, my gracious, what a change in body. So, excuse me, this kid's going to grow, but he's kind of got a little bit of the George McIntyre right now. And these teams have figured it out, and I think the year has caught up with him just a little bit too. But he is a great player. Tennessee is so lucky to have him. I'm telling you, he is going to be a great pro. Just give him time, let him get stronger, and grow mentally and physically. And he is growing. I can see him. He was losing it a little bit in that Vanderbilt.
Yep.
And I could see it in his eyes.
Yep.
And yet he comes back late and makes a play or two that absolutely wins the game. So it's a great player. And everybody understand what he's dealing with a little bit and pull for him. And hopefully he'll get a little rest in between before the big tournament starts. And we'll see him come back to life again.
I'd invent an injury for him next week, that game at South Carolina. That South Carolina team's dregs of society. They could beat him. They could beat them without South Carolina. Here's the thing, Watson. I got to ask you something. Now that this stuff's professionalized, okay, somebody's brought up a great point. We're talking about college ball. Justin Anderson said, "I wish college teams could scrimmage each other in the spring." Watson, why don't we admit kind of what we're doing and break up the monotony of spring ball, or even in the summer? And have somebody come to your campus, or you go to their campus, for you go to meet at a neutral site. Do what the NFL does, and have a time in camp where you kind of camp with each other, and you learn from each other, and you get better from each other, like they do in the NFL. Why don't we do that in college ball?
Oh, don't get me started. That's been my pet peeve for 50 years. I have absolutely. We're the only sport in college that does not have some form of scrimmages before you play. And why that is, I don't know. And it would be so easy for University of Tennessee to bring Appalachian State over right down the road, or I don't know, Western Kentucky or something close, where you get on a bus.
Yep.
And you could be there a day and go back. Spend one night and two days and go back home. It would cost no money, and boy, would you learn so much more. Guys, I hated. There's one time of the year I hated in college football as an assistant or head coach, and that's the first game. The first game of the year, because you had really no clue unless you had everybody back. You had no clue what you're fixing to see when you hit the field for the first time. And I just think it's crazy. I have been harping on this. I've been on committees with this, and it's gone in one ear and out the other.
Well, and now it's even worse. I mean, now I've got, like, we had a guy from Missouri on yesterday. They have 52 new faces on their campus. And a light high school class.
Everybody's starting to do it.
And so why wouldn't I want to bring somebody in to camp with me like they do? This is in the NFL. Teams will get together, and then they'll play a preseason game at the end of that week. Like, hey, we've camped together. We know each other. We've been hitting on it. Now we're going to go out and play. And in the preseason game, who cares? You don't even do that. But I don't understand why we won't admit what this is. You've been wanting to do it. You say dating back to whenever. What was the excuse? Why wouldn't they do it?
Injury and money. And it's just stupid to me. It's just stupid to me. And injury more than anything. But here's what I thought happened with my teams as a head coach. I thought it hurt the defense a lot more than it hurt the offenses. Because the defense is seeing one look every practice, the same pass pattern, same formation, same motion, same shifts, same runs. And you're not getting to work against different stuff. And so all of a sudden they get pretty good in ball going against the offense, and because they get comfortable with what they're seeing. And then all of a sudden you go out in the first game and you play something totally different, and you've had scout teams trying to do it. I just thought it always hurt my defense more than it hurt my offense, and it gave us a little more confidence defensively as coaches than really we were. And so it's crazy. This is the best chance that something will get done, because now so many teams got a brand new team. It's a year-to-year thing now, and it's just the way you do it. And that's why I think surely to goodness, sooner or later, Middle Tennessee could drive up the road to Vanderbilt. They could drive up the road to Vanderbilt and spend 2 days. They wouldn't even have to spend the night if they didn't want to. Take the buses back and bring them back again the next day. or whatever. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It absolutely makes absolute no sense to me. It's the only sport that doesn't do it. The only one.
It's such a great point, man. And I realize injury is a concern, but I'll tell you this. I think in a contact sport, when you don't hit as much as you're not hitting, and then you go out and play in a game, you're kind of, and this isn't a scientific thought here, but that feels like that's not the safest thing in the world either. When you're not practicing tackling, how are you going to learn how to tackle properly and protect yourself on a field when you're not working on it in practice?
Absolutely true. And on top of that, what we talked about just a little bit earlier, your conditioning. You are not ready to play. You're not in the condition you need to be throwing those kids out there and throwing them through the.
It's interesting.
I remember opening the second game of the year was against Nebraska.
Yep.
UAB when we first went Division I.
Oh, gosh.
And we go to Lincoln, and it was, they showed me a temperature at the half, and it was 130 on the turf. And they said, make sure your players move around or they'll get burns on their feet. I'm telling the truth. This is what I was told. And you cannot be in shape if you don't have the pad work, and not 5 minutes of pad work and then 10 minutes off.
Cool.
You've got to have pad work. You've got to get game-type pad work. And that's where a good old hard, long scrimmage against somebody else would really help that situation. The players don't get in the third quarter and they're wore out because you haven't been able to do it in practice.
Watson, I find you to be the greatest intercontinental champion maybe of all time. I know you've got to get to a speech. And just make sure you get the show name proper and the website when you speak to those people. Any shout-outs are appreciated.
I'll finish with this real quick. I know you got to go. But
promote
you
Plaster.
don't know how many people walk up to me now.
Oh, stop.
And talk. No, I'm serious. Walk up to me now and talk about listening to the show. I'm telling you. I had a call from my brother, a guy in North Carolina, that he walked up to Mac, didn't talk to him about Mac, he talked about us and listening to this show and how much he enjoys the show over in North Carolina.
That's great.
And I'm just telling you the way it is.
Hey, you're
you don't know
watering
how
my
many
soul.
times I get hit with that now.
Hey, you're watering my soul.
I listen to you.
You're watering my
listen
soul.
to you.
Don't promote Plaster today. Promote your, Wednesdays. Hey, thanks, brother. I love you. Thank you, Watson.
Love you guys. Always an honor.
I would say he's the best, but that'd be being redundant. I just love him. I appreciate him. Brian, we didn't get many scoos out of him today. We had a serious segment there, but I don't know why. Rick Barnes brings in various basketball teams and they scrimmage, and then they play these games with each other. Tony Valls, in the fall, they bring in these teams and they scrimmage. And and you're throwing a hard ball at each other. You could get injured doing that. The Lady Vols bring in these teams and they scrimmage and they go at it. These are not like controlled. These are real games. I mean, they're going hard. I remember Sokowiak one year, Bri. No offense to him. You remember that one year I started putting those stats out because I had somebody in there feeding me information? How mad he was getting, Bri? What was the harm in doing that? What was the harm in them scrimmaging?
I guess Tom needed to fix the leak or plug up the leak.
Yeah. Call Tom Sokowiak, he'll fix your leak. Call Sokowiak, he'll fix your leak.
You're listening to FM
Hour 2 on the radio after this.
And AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years. 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gufon Moving and Storage are pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gufon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gufon.com. That's Gufon.com, or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gufon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Cold weather is here. Is your heating system ready and running efficiently? Don't wait to find out. A simple tune-up now can help prevent costly breakdowns when you need your heat the most. Right now, PipeWrench is offering a $79 heating system tune-up to keep your home warm, safe, and worry-free all winter long. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune every part of your heating system for maximum efficiency and comfort, helping you avoid surprise breakdowns and high energy bills. And with PipeWrench Home Service's same-day service guarantee, you won't be left out in the cold waiting for help. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Schedule your $79 heating system tune-up today at PipeWrench.com before winter decides to test your heater. PipeWrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For standard systems only, visit PipeWrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall, the best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol, and now open, of course, in Johnson City. And anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience, Alumni Hall. All right, here's the deal. I got another hour in me, and that's it. We were up till whatever. I don't know. I went off. We did our Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime last night and got off the air at, I don't even know what time it was, but I got an hour to hang out with you here. That's it. If you want to get in, 865-200-5402. I think it's interesting that the Joey Aguilar thing came and went. And I don't sense like a great outcry over it. Have you all noticed that? Or am I missing something? People aren't like real mad at the judge, real mad at the ruling. I just get a sense there's just relief over it. And I kind of am with Bino. Bino wrote a little piece for the blog yesterday saying essentially that, and I asked him to do it because he phrased it. I think it's a great way of phrasing it. Josh Heupel's brief history here has taught us sometimes that in order for him to do the right thing, it has to be laid on top of him. And I think it might just happen again with these 2 kids. That's my hope here. That's my hope. You know? That's my hope. Now, there's an interesting discussion about football, the way it's done these days. Cinco, while you're looking at your program, if you're Heupel, some people are saying they ought to hit more in practice. The truth is, none of these guys hit anymore. They don't really hit at the NFL level like they once did. I remember as a kid going over and watching Randall Cunningham, and then when the Eagles signed Reggie White, I remember going and watching Reggie White before I came here, and going to Westchester State University. Look it up, kids. It's where the Eagles used to train. And this is how things were 40 years ago, believe it or not. Anybody could walk up and they would practice on a field. Anybody could walk up, walk in the stands. You drove up in the car. My sister had young kids at the time, one of whom is watching right now, Joe. He'll remember this. And I close my eyes and I see Randall Cunningham with his Michael Jackson Jerry curl out there. Shout out Jerry Colquitt. I wonder if Jerry Colquitt didn't have Jerry curl hair. He had the high end the kid and play high fade back in the day. But imagine being able to go to a practice and there's Reggie White, there's Bill Berge, there's Clyde Simmons, there's Jerome Brown. Just drive up. And these guys would hit each other not 1 a day, not 2 a day, but 3 a day. We've gone from that to hardly hitting. And somebody made the point here in the chat. No, Fleet Pete, it wasn't Lehigh University. Lehigh's where they are now. It was Westchester State University at the time. which is now Westchester University. And I'll tell you what was incredible about it is the guys would literally walk. And when you're a kid, this is a big deal. Because I started going late teens and then into my early 20s. They would walk right by you. And man, you could see it on their face. And the great Reggie White would stop and greet people and talk to people and sign for people. And the people in that community would see those guys out like they would give them time at night. And that was about 12 minutes from where I lived. So it was pretty wild looking back at it. I say all this to say, I wonder if, I'll tell you what, this Janoy Kresna guy, he just said word salad to me, Bri. He's getting, let's see, let's coach him, Bri. How long is his timeout? I got 10 seconds, I got a minute, I got 30 minutes, I got 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute, or 24 hours, Bri, on YouTube. What's Janoy going to get, Bri?
He said
word salad about me talking here, word salad. Doing a talk show. He just called me word salad, Bri. What's he getting? Because I'm admonishing him. I'm not. Look, I was on till 12:30 last night. I was up till 3 a.m. I'm not going to take it, guys. You're going to punch in there and punch on your keyboard. You're going to pay the price. And you're going to pay no more, to quote the late, great Bobby Denton. But you are Janoy paying. Does he get 10 seconds a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, or 24 hours, Bri? For saying,
you're giving them attention they don't deserve.
Okay, what do I give?
I would ignore them.
What do you give them, Bri? 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute, 10 seconds, or 24 hours, Bri?
I would just ignore them permanently, and then they won't be getting attention.
I'll give them 30 minutes. Do you know you're out of here for 30 minutes? May you learn and grow from your coaching. I will hard coach you. All right, so, Sean, should Tennessee hit? Should they become a tougher program? Would hitting in practice make you... The real Mr. Tubbs said, how about 10 minutes in honor of Carey's 10 rebounds last night? 6 offensive rebounds and 0 points for Carey. I got to hand it to him. He's getting carried away. He's taking this, carrying on and getting carried away. Gah! Sean, do you think these teams need to hit? Because somebody points out that the guy at Indiana runs a 75-minute practice where there's no hitting, but they basically have such great attention to detail that they've got it over everybody else, and their strength and conditioning was so superior that they physically were out muscling people. What do you think, Sink?
There's no way for me to answer that question because it's football is a compound sport, meaning that every hit compounds against the next one, and it just adds up and adds up. You know, the teams that you take Georgia, you take Alabama, some of the teams that talk about how much they hit, they also has the best depth on their team. So I don't know that one guy's taking all the punishment. And then they can afford to do that because they have such a deep roster with 4 and 5 stars that if one guy gets nicked up, the other guy just steps right in. The NFL typically doesn't hit as much as you would think they would because they absolutely put it on the player. You can either tackle or you get cut. You can either block or you get cut. So I don't really know. Does it make teams tougher? Maybe. I just don't know. I saw so many, when I was at UT, I saw so many promising players get hurt, just because of just contact. How many knees ended careers on what we used to call Monday Night Football for the freshmen? How many guys back in the day would wear those shoulder harnesses, which you could see that because they have a black cuff on their bicep, and that's just so that the shoulder doesn't come out of socket. So I really don't know. I think you do. You have to walk that line between teaching proper technique, making sure your guys are competitive, and then just go with your own instincts. Because, man, how bad would you feel if one of your key contributors gets hurt Now, the other thing about that is, how many of these guys, and I think there are a lot, there are tons of guys that get hurt on non-contact injuries. They just turn wrong. They jump like that. Was a BYU baseball player, I think, that or whatever, it jumped up after a home run and snapped it had a fib fracture.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I think it was BYU. Yeah.
Oh.
He hit this big home run and had rounded first base, looked back at the dugout to celebrate, jumped up, and when he came down, snapped his ankle.
Oh.
I don't even. They had to come out with a air cast and then a sled. I don't even know if they counted his run because technically, I don't think he was able to go around and touch home plate. But that was a non-contact injury, so it's a tough decision to make, and I know all coaches dread that. Like, man, how much is enough? Do we get an Oklahoma drill? Do we do one-on-one, bull in the ring, whatever you want to call it? Are we making toughness, or are we just looking to injure people and see who is tough?
Brian, you'll be glad to know that Janoy Kreva, whatever his name is out for 1.8 thousand seconds. 1,800 seconds is his timeout. He has to sit and watch others with the get the absolute privilege of commentating while he can't. 865-200-5402. Here's the thing. I just really wonder, and I want to ask the living listener this, because I haven't asked you this week. I asked Bino this. I asked Matt this. I asked Sean this, but we haven't really talked about it. Do you feel a sense of relief now that that court case is over? And we now know and have a definitive idea on what the quarterback situation is. Does it make you feel a sense of now we know what we're going to get this year? And what we're going to get is something we don't know what we're going to get, what we're going to see. And we know that it's going to grow our team toward what I believe is the real arrival year in 2027, but there's no reason it can't be next year in college football. Right? There's no reason it can't be. I mean, college football is as fluid and a crazy a sport as it's ever been. Now, Sean's right about the Kirby Smarts of the world and the hitting in practice conversation we were having. What about, Sean, bringing somebody in and working out with your team? Are you for that or against it? Where are you?
Wait, can you be more specific?
Bringing in another team, say in the spring, and having joint practices with them just to sharpen you up. Whether you have contact or not. In the NFL, they do it. And they in the NFL, they do it with some hitting, but it's not like they're, putting the guys through the Junction Boys stuff, because those guys are investments to them at the NFL level.
And I think maybe, again, I always go back to, I remember when Peerless Price was going to be the hot shot the following year.
Mm-hmm.
And in the spring game, he was told everyone was told, do not touch him. And so he caught a post pattern, was taking him for the end zone, and some walk-on dove at him and snapped his ankle, I think. It's some variation of that, injured.
Yep.
And my concern would be could you get some extra information? Sure. Could it show some? But, a lot of times when you see these mixed practices in NFL, it's always highlighted by an, inter-squad fight. And these are professionals.
Yep.
So, I don't know about all that. It's, again, I'll take Coach Brown. He's the man. He said they'd be valuable, so I'm just going to defer to him.
865-200-5402. Brian, does last night's game make you worry about the basketball team and their ability to lay down some wolf bait every once in a while? Because that's what that was last night. That was some complete wolf bait they dropped on the court last night. No offense to them. Which I'm not sure if that's a term I've used on here before, but that was sort of on my alleged mind.
I think a lot of things are fixable. The turnovers that they committed, and then hopefully you can learn how to not let two guys beat you the way that they let those two guys beat them.
Yes.
So I don't think you're playing on the road. It's certainly the Vanderbilt win gave you some margin for error to where you could probably drop a game over the last 4. So I don't believe it's something I'd spend too much time worrying about. They can get right back on track and be in a higher position than they were before the Missouri game if they knock off Bama on Saturday for a second time. At home.
Well, which they should. I mean, that Rick Barnes' team plays them so well. He just has the key. Now watch them go out and get beat. But he just has the formula, the key, whatever you want to call it. And you know damn right well that Oates guy hates playing against Rick Barnes because they just take his team and turn them inside out. Michael Stanton said, Tony, we've seen it all season long. Yes and no. Not to that extent. Last night's game was I'll say this. I thought the Vanderbilt game, and we said it with Mark Griffin yesterday, and by the way, Griff called it. Griff called that shot yesterday. I don't like this game. I don't like this matchup. Now, who could have foresaw T.O., who nobody knows who he is, totally going off? A night where a couple of their, as Gary told me, the great Gary Sturm, a couple of their scorers don't even score. Shout out to my friends at Mortgage Investors Group. A couple of their scorers don't even score, and they have two guys just totally go off on us. But then we had 4 guys in double figures and one other score, and then everybody else is blanked on our roster. Blank job. Really weird game. I don't think we've seen that kind of swing all year. Over here, you got the best game you've played all season with Vanderbilt. You're great on defense. You're not really locked in on offense, but whatever. It's this time of the year, and sure, my information is that Nate Ament's got a little ankle thing that's kind of same thing that happened back in December. He's favoring it right now. Okay. Hey, look, at this time of the year, everybody plays with bumps and bruises. If he plays in the NBA, you're going to play with bumps and bruises. Here's the thing about the NBA, though. You get to that level, you get a hangnail, they'll sit you out for 10 days. The other day, the Hughes kid got a tooth knocked out, Sean, and he's out there bleeding, and he plays the rest of the game and scores the winning goal, Sean. If he's in the NBA, Sean, is he out there? Is he out there playing, Sean, if he's in the NBA and that happens? You want to tell me how tough these hockey players are? Those are guys that the organizations try to sit them down. Try to load manage them, and the players say, over my dead body, are you doing that? That's how much they respect what they're doing. The NBA is a totally disrespectful product on the American and international sports scene. And I don't know why those folks on ESPN won't say this out loud. Load management is a joke. If a game's on your schedule and you are scheduled to play, damn it, play. And if you can't play, don't play. But don't tell me you're just taking a day off when you're charging people and you're making millions and millions. How would you like to get your hands on some of that money? Would you go out and play on a sore ankle for that kind of money? Let's go to the phones.
Just for some perspective.
Yep.
We all thought that they would be lucky to win maybe 1 or 2 games at most on the road in the SEC play. Well, they've got a chance to finish 5-4 if they beat South Carolina.
Yep.
And while only losing one game in their building, which they should have won. So the season's gone a lot better than we thought it was going to go back in early January.
And James Daniel 4 is right. It's the Jekyll and Hyde nature of what we just witnessed. The Saturday to Tuesday thing, that variance, a Nashville Elite term, that variance is, it's just too much for me to comprehend. Because when they were 12-2, I looked at Laura and I said, these guys got this thing. These guys are really different now. They're getting ready to blow this team off the floor. Brian, did you think that to yourself early? Because I really thought that to myself. I thought, look at the way they're defending. Missouri can't get a shot. They can't get a clean look at it. They're getting ready to house these guys and run them out of here. And no sooner did I say that the Vols just went into mid mode and just looked like a mid team again. Weird. And the turnovers were so stupid last night. Look, it's one thing to turn the ball over because somebody gets under you and they jump into a passing lane. I mean, trying to alley-oop. You got Brown trying to throw an alley-oop to Akpara from the strong side to the weak side. Come on, man. What the hell are you doing? You've got the Berg kid attempting a blind bounce pass to Brown. I mean, and then they put the Henderson guy in because Berg did that. And Barnes has to be sitting there when they watch us back today and they see the Henderson guy throw a baseball pass up ahead to, who was it, Bri? Was it Gillespie? Like a 70-foot base, and he throws it 20 feet out of bounds. If you fell asleep during the game last night, be glad. Be glad. And then the defense last night. The no switching men. You got a guy out here that's scorching hot. We're not going to try different defenders on him. I mean, the coaching last night was right up there with the playing. It was an awful example of Tennessee basketball last night. My gosh, man. What are we doing here? Let's go to the phones. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony B, how you doing? Sean, how you doing? Matt, Brian, how you doing? This is Rod in Clarksville.
Rod in Clarksville, welcome in.
Hey, Rod.
Did you stay with that game last night, Rod?
Tony, I didn't even watch the game. I knew what was going to happen.
Go!
The reason I say that is because I believe that, our boys, after Saturday with Vanderbilt, I think our boys are tired.
Wow.
Not Saturday, but, when they play Vanderbilt, I think they're tired, Tony.
Well, it was a physical game. I had people tell me the game was too physical. Maybe y'all are right. Maybe these guys got beat up in that game. Maybe Ament got beat up in that game.
He did. I mean, he fell down 3 times. You remember laying on the floor.
Sure did.
That could be it. But as far as our basketball team come March, I think they're going to be ready, Tony. I think, when the lights are shining, I think these boys are going to surprise us, and I'm just so excited for that. I mean, I know it can go the other way, too, but what do you think, Sean? I think our boys are going to, excite us come March.
Sean, you excited?
I am, but Rod, I have to be honest with you. It's over the years, and this is not a hate thing, but my thing with Coach Barnes and his program is you always know they're going to be very, very good. But you always, in the back of my mind, I'm like, like last night, the Kentucky games. You just never know when the other side of the coin is going to show up. His team seemed to. He's a lot like Gene Cady. I just thought about this the other day. And Cady's Purdue teams, they're always going to be tough. They're always going to play defense. They're always going to show up. They're always going to give their best effort. But at certain times, when the shots aren't falling, or when they get in front of someone like a Duke or just a really talented team, you just wonder what's going to happen. So, again, I don't want to be negative. I am excited. I love what Nate Ament's doing right now, but I'm just concerned with that, and I have been all year. It would have been so nice to get a legitimate shooting guard out there, and I think we're still lacking that. What do you think?
I think come March, I think Gillespie is going to, average about 30 points a game, and I think it's going to pull everybody else to, step up their game. I think it's going to be exciting.
He did it last year. He was very good in the tournament. Somebody asked last night, why isn't he the same player than he was at Maryland last year? And I think we have to be honest about the team that's around him, like Sean's talking about. When you're at his spot and you have an kind of unwilling at times two-guard next to you. Now, I'll give Boswell a lot of credit. Last night he had a 40-foot take where he saw a lane and they fed the ball to him and he took it. And he's starting to show a little more want-to and aggression on offense. Yeah, which is what they need. You need your two-guard to play with some aggression on offense.
I
I
believe he's going to be our secret in March. He's going to be the one.
Rod, the problem last night, and I know you sat the game out, but, man, Gillespie had several wide-open three balls when they could have split the game wide open in the first half, and he missed every opportunity to drill threes. He just kept missing, and inevitably that's what got him.
Tony, we all know that when we see our team, jump out to a 12-2-0, 12-2 lead, the other team is going to come back.
Yeah, this team's just not going to throw the hammer down. They haven't done it all year. They did it against Oklahoma, Bry, but other than the Oklahoma game, Bry, when this team just doesn't have a hammer.
You knew that Missouri wasn't going to go 0 for the game shooting threes.
Yeah, but Bry, Missouri even made their foul shots last night. They said, "I'll show you something weird and wacky." That's a team shooting, like Griff said. I looked it up. They were like 3-something in free throw percentage, and they shot like 75% last night, which is a great number for them.
One more thing, guys. I just want y'all to think about this as far as our football team.
Yep.
In the quarterback situation.
Yep.
I believe that this season is going to start off like, Ainge and Brent Schaefer to see, who's going to be the one to get out there. And I think they're going to probably play both players just to see what they have.
That was 20 years ago, man. 22 years ago today, Sergeant Pepper taught the band to play. You believe that? That was 22 years ago?
Yeah. Brent Schaefer, he reminds me, of our freshman coming in, and
I love me some Brent Schaefer, man. He was electric. That was back when we go to every practice. He was electric in that camp, Rod.
He was electric.
Electric.
Hey, guys,
left-handed.
Remembering back, that was exciting, though.
Oh!
Yeah.
No reason this can't be exciting,
It was exciting
Sean.
watching those two.
Yeah, there's no reason, Sean, this can't be exciting. And I believe at that time, Schaefer was the first ever true freshman quarterback to start a game at one of the power SEC schools. I believe that's accurate.
That's true.
And so, what happens if a true freshman starts this time for the Vols? Could it happen? They come out of camp and he wins a job?
It could happen.
Sure it could.
I mean, he's got legs. This dude can freaking fly.
Yep.
And if he's, doing this against, our better defense with these better players that we have, who knows? I mean, I'm hoping that Heupel, with our defensive coach that we have now, and these other DB coaches and stuff that we know have, a little bit better, let's just say, upside and uptick, they can see talent. And if they see, that freshman out there just absolutely flying around, it's like, what can we do? We got to give this boy a chance.
I appreciate you.
I mean,
Thank
if
you.
he's the next Hendon Hooker, we got to do it.
Well, here's my thing. I think we have a gun-shy fan base, too, on these five-star quarterbacks right now, which is an interesting thing. This kid is not getting the type of hype from people that ordinarily these guys get. As I was say, well, he's a 4-star ends on one, whatever. I'm talking about just a player of his repute. It's almost like we're afraid to love again after the whole Nico experiment. Do you kind of sense that?
Yeah, maybe so, but I think there's also a certain amount, and I'm included in this. I've watched, and Joey had nice numbers.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. He saved the program last year.
Yep.
I'll be grateful to him for the rest of my life for coming in. But we've had 3 straight years of pretty good quarterbacking to average quarterbacking, and we've dumped a whole lot of money in recruiting into quarterbacks. The good thing about this year is we don't have to pay the guys that are on there and $6 million more, or 2 or 3 for Joey. But I think a lot of people are wanting to see the dynamic quarterback play that we saw with Hendon Hooker again, because it's been a while.
That's exactly right. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way.
This is the 5th straight year they'll have a different starting quarterback.
And as
Starting
Bino
with the
said,
Hooker years.
it might just be a blessing, Bri. Now, in my possession, Laura just brought me this. I don't know, maybe she was doing some spring cleaning here, or maybe it's just that I've got a lot of junk in the garage. But she found a 22-year-old shirt from the fall of 2004 that Big Orange Bill printed up a run of these. And on one side it says Schaefer with the Schaefer beer logo. And on the back it has Ainge in Celtic, in the Celtic green, Bri. Let me show this to you, Bri. I'm showing it to people online. I don't know, Bri, if you've ever seen one of these. You probably would like this, Bri. Look at that right there. It's got the Ainge.
Oh, that is neat.
Ainge, and then look at the front. The front has the Schaefer with the Schaefer beer logo, and it says QB, where it said it's what it said.
That's pretty
beer.
cool.
Isn't that a cool shirt? They sold the crap out of these back in the day. These unlicensed shirts. Has anybody else seen one of these? Pretty cool little keepsake from that season. And Rod's right. That was a fun year. And what's wrong with having a little fun with this? Which is what I was saying earlier, and people really went after me. But I'm always going to be somebody that gives you my opinion in real time. Now, I thought Aguilar was going to win his court case. But I verbalized that I would have loved to have seen, something else. And we're going to get to see something else. And, maybe you're going to be ripping me and say, be careful what you wish for. Tony, are you now going to give the staff a free pass for what happens this year because you want to see? No. I never said that. No.
I think that this is a perfect opportunity for Josh Heupel to get away from the way he's handled the public and press conferences, et cetera, by just be more engaging, not robotic. He's an affable guy. Everybody talks about how down to earth and easy to like the guy is. With this new strength and conditioning coach, he's already been here so many years. Doesn't have to prove a whole lot. I mean, everyone's going to roll their eyes and say, "Where's the championships?" I get that, but boy, if he would just become more of an everyman in public like he is in private, or to the team, I think that would go a long way with this transition to the brand new quarterbacks, brand new defense, harder 9-game schedule. I think he'd do a lot of good.
If I were Josh Heupel, and I cared about such things, I don't know that he cares about such things, public perception, etc. I don't know that he cares. I think he just wants to coach football. But my advice to him would be, you reach out to Mike Keith. Say, I want to appear on your YouTube show. Say, I want to talk about my vision for the next couple of years, and have that conversation with the fans. Exactly what you're saying. And I think the fans would go, fans want to buy in, but fans want a seat at the table. Fans don't want And look, you can say whatever you want to say at press conferences. I don't get on the guy for it, and we don't take his press conferences anymore. Therefore, it's like a tree falling in the forest when he speaks, and I'll look at people's Twitter feeds and see if anything newsworthy came out of it. And Brian, 9 times out of 10, what happens? 9 times out of 10, Brian, what happens?
You're usually just wanting to see if there's a injury, anybody get hurt, or if somebody who's been hurt are going to play. That's about it.
So Dr. Z is telling me to go back to the phones when I was up till like 1 o'clock in the morning last night doing a post-game show. So he's going to get 10 minutes of timeout. A misconduct for him. A 10-minute misconduct for Dr. Z. Dr. Z, I'll go back to the phones when I feel like going back to the phones. How's that sound, brah? And you sit there and you comment. How's that sound? See, one of us has the power of the button, Dr. Z, and it ain't you. Can you feel me? Just so you can feel me over here. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, it's Zach in Johnson City. What's up, man?
What's up, brother?
Are you giving out major penalties, minor penalties?
Well,
for
I
fighting?
just gave him a 10-minute misconduct. That's what I'm gonna start calling them. 10-minute misconducts.
Wow. So we're on a power play right now.
No. When you have a misconduct, you don't. The great thing about it is you don't pull anybody.
Oh,
off
that's
the ice.
right.
He just sits in the box for 10 minutes and thinks about what he just did.
Well, that's reasonable.
I'm trying to coach him up, Zach. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Do I sound like when I'm coaching these guys and I'm doing it in love? Because I'm telling you right now, I'm going to turn Dave into a reasoned, seasoned caller before it's over. I'm going to turn him into a reasoned, rational sports fan. Can you feel that?
I can feel that. When I was playing football for Elizabeth, and I think I've told you all this. I played for Jason Witten's grandfather.
Yes.
And when he would yell at us, he'd go, "God, honey, baby, what are you doing?" So he would.
So he was like old school Southern. I love stuff like that, man.
Yeah, he was born in a place, and he never failed to tell you he was born in a place called War, West Virginia. But
Wow.
He hit you with that GD, honey, baby, and so that's you got to have a little bit of venom and sugar,
Well,
but
the problem with guys like Dave is that they fly off the handle and they overreact to everything. And truly, in all these sports and really in life, things are never as bad as they seem, and probably they're never really as good as they seem either. And this Tennessee basketball team, they did I'll show you something after what we did over the weekend. They said, I'll show you something, Zach, to us last night. I should have known better. But when it was 12-2 last night, I turned to Laura and I said, man, this team is rolling right now. They are in a different place. And sure enough, that last 15 minutes of basketball in that first half they played, Zach, was unwatchable, is what it was.
Guys like me and Dave, we're just going to be wound up until we get a Final Four or an appearance. It's just like this. It's just like when we won a national championship in football in '98.
Yep.
I was able to, we were all able to celebrate, and now it's not like this huge because it's been 20. What is that? It's been 20. Sorry, my math. 28 years. So that's a long time, but it happened.
Has it really been 28 years?
Yeah, that's sad, isn't it? Since I was a sophomore that year. So, that's why I get so wound up. I had to turn the game off last night, like I told you, when it went from 14-4 to 23-22 in their favor. And my question to you is, what is it with this team and playing with a large lead? I know you say they go they functified for a little while, but what is it with this team playing with a large?
Brian, what is that? What is that, Brian? The way these guys just cough up large leads. That'd be a great question for Mark Griffin. Do they just have trouble concentrating? Is that what it is, Brian? What do you think it is?
It might be that they just have guys that are on the floor too many minutes that are not capable of giving you the type of production out of necessity. And Estrella being hurt doesn't help. He was unable to be effective last night.
Yep.
I agree.
And
It's all with that
guard,
front
so
court
who
we
does?
built.
Well,
I
the issue too, and this is a really low-key injury that's going to end up, I think, really, we're going to look back at this year and say, hey, this is the thing that kept these guys from reaching whatever ceiling they could have had. That Phillips injury is huge right now. Because now you've got Estrella and Phillips that are beat up. Nate Ament somewhat beat up. But the Phillips injury, Phillips gave him a lift on offensively, defensively, smart guy, really good, solid player, great athlete, and could finish around the rim. And that is one thing you're not going to say about this Carey guy. Carey, when he's on the floor with a guy 7'3", like that dude last night. And by the way, that kid that was 7'4" last night is pretty coordinated, Zach. That kid did not look like a 7'4" player to me. Did he look that way to you?
No, it was amazing the way he was able to control himself, play in tight spaces,
He gets
move around.
megaloprops. Yeah, he gets megaloprops from me.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm more comfortable with this team when we're up by 3 and playing back and forth than when we get up by 12 on somebody. As soon as we get up 10 to 12, now last year's team, it wasn't like that. If we got up by a large margin, I was
hammered.
like, whew, thank God.
Yeah, you're getting hammered. Yep. This team going back to even the Tennessee State game and games like that, Crip games.
Mm-hmm.
They had trouble putting people away in Crip games.
Yeah, and we always say don't worry about what happened. But I guess we should have looked at that and been like, you know what, this might be a thing, and it is a thing. It's something that has turned into an issue. But and just real quick on football, the 04 team, I don't think did Schaefer he didn't did he start any games for that team? Or,
he started the opener.
Okay, so that was the one.
Schaefer was the starting quarterback when you were having
I was living in
more
Houston
than one.
that year, and I didn't get to watch so many games, but
Schaefer.
I did watch the Florida game.
He started the UNLV that game that year, and I was there when you're having more than one. Schaefer is the starting quarterback. Brad, do you remember the Schaefer jingle, or was that just a local beer where I was back in the day?
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, it's the Schaefer is the one to have when you're having more than one. Jingles stay in my head, man. Even as a kid, I could recite all the jingles. You just knew I was going to kind of get into the whole marketing thing, but not me. I don't drop it right on you. Like my friends at VIP Play, look, tonight, you know why I'm fired up, focused, prepared tonight? Because my Flyers are back in action. They're going to go breaking my heart, Elton John and Kiki D. Where do you put that, Brian, on the Elton John canon, Don't Go Breaking My Heart? Is that up there for you?
Not really.
Well, you're a clown.
It's mid to me.
You're a clown. Who was originally supposed to sing that with him? I saw something the other day online about that. Somebody put that in the comments. Somebody knows that. It wasn't supposed to be her, but it was somebody who lost her voice. She was also supposed to sing Nobody Does It Better, the song that Carly Simon ended up singing. Oh, it was Dusty Springfield. Let's go! But Dusty had all kinds of... She wasn't losing her voice. She was just way into the throes of whatever she was in the throes of, which is a shame. I love Dusty Springfield, y'all. Great soul singer. Unbelievable, Andy Mack. That In Memphis record she made with those people down in Memphis. Oh, my gosh. Maroname. Ladies and germs, your VIP Play welcome bonus is right there. You bet $20, you get $100 in bonus bets. Bride, do you have a favorite play in the SEC tonight? Anything calling your name, Bride, tonight? Huh?
I think I like Georgia plus 9.5 at Vanderbilt.
The promo code is TN Tony when you make that first bet. I would take Bry. Bry's been hotter than a freaking firecracker. He picked the Vols to cover yesterday. Live always, 200 plus leagues, numerous bet types. They got tons of props, tons of options, and recently added, when you go up to when you open the app, you'll see on the front scroll screen right at the top there, you'll see all the different offers, and that's where my best bet for the weekend is going to appear. I'm going to have something for the Tennessee-Alabama game for you, I'm afraid. I'm consulting with Lee C. and my consortium. I've got my own private consortium behind the scenes. If you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the great state of Tennessee to place a bet. So we got some big ones here coming up. We got the NHL resumes tonight. My Lady Vols in action tomorrow at 6 Eastern, Bry. 6 o'clock Eastern time, Bry, tomorrow night at LSU. And we have a lot to talk about as we continue with more. A whirlwind edition. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a two-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexial Kristen.
Hey Tony, good to see ya. Connexial builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Connexial.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Connexial, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Listen, I love the beautiful game. I'm so pumped right now for the World Cup. There is there is a professor at the University of Tennessee who has been commissioned. We're going to get him on the show, Sean. In fact, let me do this. The Playbook William Patterson's on the way next. We'll do some overtime, but here is the great William Patterson leading you into the rest of the day on Fan Run Radio.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Hey, Sink, there's I was talking to my buddy, Dr. Mike Fidanza. If you want to look him up, he's one of the foremost turf and grass guys basically in the world. And he brags on Dr. Sorokin here in East Tennessee, who has been commissioned by the World Cup to help get the fields around North America ready at these different locales. In Philadelphia, they've got a certain specification, a certain type of grass. And I want to get him on and talk about how they go about doing that, how much care is taken. The fields in Mexico. I know we're playing this thing in North America, in our continent. And how forward are you looking, Sean, to the World Cup? You and Brian being on our shores.
I'm very much looking forward to it. But you know what? I'm glad they're addressing that, because that was a huge problem this past summer in the World Club Championship that was here. I mean, my Chelsea Blues won it, but there were constant complaints from almost every team about the they would call it the pitch, about how inconsistent they were, they looked beautiful to us, but they're nowhere close to what they're playing like on pitches in Europe. So I hope they get that squared away, because you don't want the turf to be a factor in a game. You want the players' talents and strategy to be the main factor.
I think it's really worth celebrating, though, in our local sports world, that we have a guy who's been on our campus for close to 20 years.
Yep.
And they called him in, by the way, if you'll remember, when Tennessee had that turf issue, and they fixed it several years ago.
He's talked about it any number of times. He's consulted for PGA and for Super Bowls, correct?
Dr. Sorokin. Yeah. Well, yeah. Now Fidanza is so like world. He goes to places like over in Scotland, over the a lot of those golf courses across the pond. Look, I didn't sleep well last night, but St. Andrews, places like that. He also consults with the grounds at the Vatican in Rome. He consults with the grounds at various, like, just world-renowned play. It's crazy, the stuff this guy does. But he was bragging on Sorokin to me. We were talking the other day, and he said, hey, Sorokin is heavily involved in the World Cup deal, and I just think that is a unique, wonderful, terrific, you don't have to be a soccer fan sporting event when it happens later this summer on our shores. It's going to be a really, really great, terrific time, and we're going to have some fun with it here. We're looking forward to getting into it. Bry, Catfish Ike is highly upset with me. He said he's been going off over here on YouTube about how I said I wanted to see the kids play. And Sean and I were talking off the air. And I just want you to think about this. I just kind of want anybody to open their minds, okay? When they had that CJ Leak guy, was that his name? Chris Leak was the brother. CJ they got from Wake Forest, yeah. And he was a veteran player, similar to kind of the Aguilar thing. Veteran player. Now, CJ Leak wasn't of the timber that Aguilar is. Aguilar's a better player than him.
Yep.
No question about it. But they had a camp, and during that camp, it was absolutely apparent that these two freshmen were both better players than the kid they brought in. And they had to take a drink and a quick decision because they wanted to get Chris Leak here. If you go back and you remember that. But they made a decision, hey, look, we're going to do the right thing, Spike Lee, for our football program, if I remember this correctly. And they just decided we're playing the best player. And the best player is one of these two freshmen. And not this guy. And so, Ike, don't hate the player. You know? Don't be a player hater. He's all tore up at me because I said out loud that I wanted to see one of the kids play. Look, it was no disrespect to Joey Aguilar. And it doesn't mean that I don't think you can win this year. I still think you can win with one of these kids. And I'm going to go back to something Watson Brown said. And it's a great term. These guys are handpicked. This coach is making $10 million. This quarterbacks coach / offensive coordinator in name only, but he's supposed to be a guy developing quarterbacks, makes how much, Sean? Didn't they just give him a big raise?
If memory serves, $1.4 million.
Okay, go earn your money. Get one of these guys ready.
Well, here's another added to it. If you remember back in the day, you had Ainge, who's a 6'6", somewhat of a typical pro-style quarterback.
Yep.
Who was right-handed.
Yep.
You had Brent Schaefer, who was just over 6 feet tall, who was more dynamic with his feet and left-handed.
Yep.
They were much more I'm not talking about mental capability. What's his face? Ainge was very much a system, a play deal, whereas Schaefer had more of an improvisation element to his game. And I think that was Randy Sanders. I mean, that's a guy that took both of those guys. That first game against UNLV, Schaefer started.
Yep.
Ainge came in. They shared, duties for a while until I think I don't know if it was a Memphis game, but I think that Schaefer got hurt, which pushed Ainge in there. And so can it be done? It not only can be done, it has been done. And it was just, I'll repeat, it was extremely exciting watching those two youngsters out there.
And that's all I was saying. I wanted to have a little fun with my football and look ahead to 2027. Because in my opinion, this is me. Joey Aguilar is an okay quarterback, and that's who he is. Some of you think he's a superstar player. He's not. In fact, he was never a superstar player. He had a good game against Georgia, and that's fine. I'm not going to relitigate that. But my point is not a foolish point or a stupid point or a point that I'm going to hide from, or my position is not a position I'm going to run from. But it has no bearing on what happens this fall. Like, there's no right or wrong here. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you look at the Vegas odds, since that word came out, they haven't changed one bit for Tennessee. Okay? Not one bit. And I'm not diminishing Joey Aguilar. But he was, in the SEC, middle of the pack player. I know he threw for a lot of yards. You get no argument for anybody in Heupel's offense is going to throw for a lot of yards. Okay? I mean, let's get real here. And I'm not trying to diminish the guy. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm not. But I sense in our fan base some relief. I sense some relief. The real Mr. Tops. He led the SEC in regular season passing yards. That's great. That's great. You know what the charge of a quarterback is? It's to win games. It's to win games, not to throw for yards. Everybody throws for yards in this offense. Come on, man. Come on. By the way, one of these kids this fall is going to throw for a lot of yards in this offense. Okay? I mean, get real here. And here's the thing. These guys make great money. Go earn it. Watson Brown said it. You hand-picked these two guys. One of them's a second-year guy in your program who I understand is now gaining weight. Miracle of all miracles. He's being held to account. They're weighing him constantly, and he's gaining weight. What a concept. I mean, what a concept. And you people act like this guy is, this Aguilar guy was like an All-American player. He wasn't. And by the way, he wasn't going to be this year. He wasn't. I didn't do it. Listen, the guy is a guy that threw for a lot of yards, but also turned the ball over at inopportune times. And you know what the book on him when he was at App State was? He threw for a lot of yards, and he turned the ball over at inopportune times. And if he would have gone to UCLA, he was going to throw for a bunch of yards, and he was going to turn the ball over at inopportune times. And if you all want to hate on me for saying that, you can hate away. But if you'll open your mind and you'll open your eyes and you'll think back, if you were around here at 2004, back then, man, that camp was so fun. The anticipation of the season was so fun. We let a kid go out there and grow and play. And what did that team do that year, guys?
That's a Brian question. I don't remember.
They made it to the SEC championship game and lost to that great Auburn team who finished unbeaten, and then went to the Cotton Bowl and smoked Texas A&M. But Rick Clausen had to finish the season because both Ainge and Schaefer got hurt.
And Roarval with the post of the day over here on YouTube. We ought to have a live GMAC eating cam, Bri. Do you think people would sign up for that, Sean, if GMAC did this thing like these YouTube people do, where you just go on YouTube live and, these people are living their life over there and, they're just, I guess they're content creators, I guess is what you'd call it. I guess they make money doing it. But, hey, Tony, Now, don't bitch in October when G-Max looked like a player with no experience. Hey, Brent, why don't you relax, man? Why don't you relax? Just relax. I mean,
we've kind of already seen that movie with Nico, so it's nothing new.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Nico was
and we still went to the playoff, not because of him, but with him.
Exactly right. That's the point. People acting like it's the end of the world. Was this going to be a playoff team with Joey Aguilar? No. I'll say it with a straight face. No. 2027 is the year. So play the kids. Let them play.
You know what, I think most people, and I'm speaking for myself, but I think I've heard a lot of people agree with this, that are okay with the Aguilar ruling if that's going to be consistent throughout college football. But if they're going to pick and choose who gets extra time, who doesn't get extra time, Montana guy gets 9 years, this guy gets something else. Yep. No. If Joey doesn't get another one, then no one else should, given similar situation.
That's right.
I think that's where most people get frustrated. Do I think that I've never understood this. Junior college football the argument is junior college football should not count toward college eligibility. However, those same students would absolutely demand that their junior college course credits count toward their degree. How do you have one without the other? I don't understand that.
Well,
let's get some consistency if we can.
I'm excited.
In the courts. The NCAA is not going to, but hopefully the courts will.
I'm excited for the future. I'm excited to see what this program can do. I'm excited to see this season. I think it's going to be like opening a gift. It's these coaches' jobs to coach these guys up and get them ready. Not my job. Am I going to be critical if they're not ready? Yes, I am. Now, am I going to be like out of this world critical, or am I going to take into account that you're growing a young quarterback, sort of like Michigan did last year? Because Michigan had a bright young quarterback that they stole away from LSU. Whose money was that, guys? There were two guys. Portnoy, and there was somebody else. There was another big billionaire, a woman that's married to a billionaire. Anyway, guy ends up in Michigan. He wasn't ready to play in the Oklahoma game last year. Is that going to happen to one of those kids? Probably. Probably in the Texas game. Something like that will happen. You grow with it. Talk about it in real time. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Embrace the opportunity. And at the end of it, if you find a quarterback that can really help you in 2027 and you win some games along the way, and we see an entertaining product with them progressing and getting better, and we have fun watching it, what's wrong with that? Nothing's wrong with that. Larry Ellison. Thank you, Brent. And Portnoy. Portnoy and Ellison were the two guys that purchased this kid, and he wasn't ready. He's a 5-star freshman. He wasn't ready. And it might be that he's never ready, but he looked better at the end of the year. And see, Michigan fans now, they kind of, get a sense of a little bit of hope coming into the year. Plus, they've got a new coach, because the coach they hired was never going to make it anyway. So, look, I think that Josh Heupel and these guys know what they're doing. They chose this quarterback. And I think Bino's right. It might turn out. Now, we don't know yet. But it might just turn out. And this is what I'm hoping for. Maybe I'm a bad guy for saying this. I'm hoping that Josh Heupel got kind of drug into this by the courts. And it ends up that another one of these, but he chose these two quarterbacks, okay? So this isn't even a fair comment. But obviously they wanted to play Aguilar. It's why they did what they did. Maybe they come out smelling like a rose anyway. Because now they got to get these guys ready. Now you have no choice. Unless you want La Grande Orange playing. So, Brent CTV. So this makes it official. Josh is safe till 2027. I don't have that kind of money. I don't have that kind of influence. I don't call those shots, Brent. Why is this about me? I'm telling you what I want to see. The show's got my name on it. Sean thought 2004 was fun. Sean, you know what was fun about 2004? Is that we watched those guys grow as the season went along. And both of those kids offered something different. And there's no reason you couldn't play both these quarterbacks like they played both those guys that year. There's no reason you couldn't do that, Sean.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the difference is because during that time, there weren't great expectations. It's the same thing as watching this new Elander baseball team.
Yep.
The expectations have been set so high and earned by Vitello and his staff.
Yep.
And those previous players that these guys right now they're taking their lumps. But if you'd sit back and watch them as individuals and watch them grow with time on the field, it gets exciting. I mean, you said it for how many years? How bored did Alabama fans become?
Yep.
How bored are Georgia fans?
Yep.
Because there's no anticipation of something new.
Listen, when I hear behind the scenes, I believe that the only piece missing for McIntyre was the weight, or he would have been on the field some last year. I believe that. He was really good in camp, but he's so pencil thin. I'm hearing he's already gaining weight. Now, look, is he going to show up at spring practice looking like me? Probably not, because I'm really packing him on these days. But
well, speaking of weight, is so funny how people get that. I remember 2 years ago, there was a misprint. Someone said that, what was his name? The kid from Chaz Nimrod.
Yep.
Who was like 185 pounds if he was carrying 40 pounds with him.
Yes.
And then start of fall after summer, there was a misprint, a miscommunication or something. They're talking about how Chaz Nimrod was 220 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone just lost their mind about how we had the new A.J. Brown or Daryl Boston or whoever out there who's just going to be trucking people, 6'3", 220. And it turns out he gained 5 pounds. I mean, the weight is one thing, but, I would just, again, and he's not the same. Tony Robinson was so thin, I don't even think he cast a shadow. That's a different set of physical tools. There's no question about it. You're talking about one of the greatest ever. But
Beanpole.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you're gonna, I mean, I don't know. I have trust in Heupel. Halsey seems like a nice guy. We'll have to see. But man, Heupel is still to me as a quarterback whisperer.
Sure.
I believe that.
And he handpicked these two guys. Now, the weird thing is at Tennessee, the guys he picked at Central Florida all could play. All of them. The guys here that he's picked, he's had sort of mixed reviews, right? That'd be a good way of putting it. They've had mixed reviews here. But like Brian said, five different quarterbacks in 5 years. Okay. Next man up. Let's go. Will next season be 6 quarterbacks in 6 years? Or will one of these two guys stick? Or will both of them stick? Be really fun. This spring's going to be interesting to watch. Quarterback battles always are. I think this Brandon kid's a very dynamic player. I sense that our fans got burned out on the Nico Mania and aren't letting themselves go there. That's kind of an interesting thing. If I can share that with you, I think that's, from my perspective, kind of an interesting thing. But I think this thing that's happened with Aguilar and him getting denied, I don't know. It feels, I guess be careful what you wish for, but for me it's an opportunity for this thing to get real interesting this offseason. Sean, you agree with that? I mean, just kind of interesting.
Well, I have to keep it real. It does make me a little nervous. That
Sure.
schedule is somewhat daunting.
Yeah.
We haven't seen. I mean, it's at least with Joey Aguilar, you could go back to App State and see what you're looking at. But both of those guys, McIntyre and Faison, were injured some either their senior or before their senior year, which caused them to drop in a couple of rankings.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have the hype at the end of their careers like they did going into their senior years. So yeah, I mean, there's got to be some trepidation involved with all of us. But that uncertainty is the first ingredient to into excitement.
Pruitt's neck
I'm
gator.
ready to do that.
Pruitt's neck gator, Bry, says, I sure hope he doesn't show up looking like you, Tony. You have a thought on that,
That's
Brian?
not nice. You're about to go in the penalty box, my friend.
Brian, what do you think of that? Sean, what do we expect from the baseball Vols this weekend? And I meant to ask you this earlier. Is it going to be alarming you if they don't play well in Texas, or is it still early and it is what it is?
I think they're going to play well for a couple of reasons. One, I think with the new stadium, new coach, new coaches, the absolute shadow that Tony Vitello cast, Frank Anderson cast in their careers here, I think getting out and playing somewhere else might be a breath of fresh air. I think there was opening up the new construction. I think I saw a lot of guys pressing. And the reason I say that is because not while they were in the box, but after they hit it and, rope something and got caught, get caught, on the warning track. I just saw a lot of frustration from those kids that have done it before.
Yep.
And so that tells me that they really want to win for this guy, and that maybe getting away from here a little bit so they can relax in a hotel room, get away from what they've known, get to some warm weather, frankly.
Amen.
I think they're going to relax because here's the thing. If I'm not mistaken, the starting three pitchers, even though they're not playing SEC right now,
they're excellent.
Combined, they have a 1.34 ERA.
Yes.
At the beginning of the season, and they're all every one of them has reached their pitch limit or right at their pitch limit and been chosen to be taken out.
I want to see this Matt catcher too.
They're being well coached.
I want to see this Matt catcher too. Look.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. I don't think what we've got going on is. With all due respect, Lawless has got a nice bat, but we got to get better defensively. And not only that, not only the throwing. The games that we are, a lot of balls are ending up, at the backstop that aren't in the dirt. I mean, there was one Friday that was called a strike on the inside corner, and the catcher didn't catch it.
Yep.
That doesn't make any sense.
The real Mr. Tubbs said Schaefer had 302 yards and 18 completions in 8 games at Tennessee. I'm telling you, that Schaefer guy, that camp. It
was electric.
God. Remember when they used to open practice to everybody, Cinco? You go over there and look at it, or if you knew somebody.
I didn't like it, man. I didn't like it as a manager because then you got all these people in the way. They're asking questions.
Yeah.
Their kids start running on the field. Babies are crying. A lady gets hit by an errant pass, and you got to go see what's going on.
Literally, as much as I love football, that was one of the most boring activities anybody could ever partake in. Is going over there and watching practice.
Extremely boring.
Yeah, football practice is awful. But I was talking about the Schaefer guy.
Why in the world would you do that to yourself?
So Schaefer went to Ole Miss. He played for Ed Ogeron there. He
went
got
to JUCO first.
He got
JUCO.
Went to JUCO. Got himself in trouble. And God knows where he is now. He was really, really, really physically talented, though. Really talented. Crazy talent. But couldn't get out of his own way. And now he's on a T-shirt. 20 years later, this is what he has to show for his time, because he was the one quarterback to have when you're having more than one. Brian, the Schaefer Ain shirt, would you rock that, Bri? If I threw that in the washer for you?
Probably not. No, I would not.
Really? You
Doesn't
look
mean I
great
don't think
in
it's
it,
kind of
Bri.
cool, but I wouldn't wear it now.
He's the one quarterback to have when you're having more than one. Schaefer is the QB to have when you're having more.
It would look
than
better on
one.
someone else than it would on me.
And those are good times because there was, I mean, that's a great talk show. Should we be playing Schaefer? Should we be playing them? Should we be playing Manning? Should we be playing Brandon Stewart?
Yes.
I mean, that was all-time great.
I want a quarterback battle.
There were people actually, I guarantee you they still hold the opinion that Brandon Stewart should have been playing over Manning.
Oh, God, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But hey, Stewart helped us when he went to A&M. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Beat Miami, I think.
Mm-hmm. And that might happen this time around, that one of those guys is more physically ready to play than the other, but the other guy's going to end up being a better quarterback. Because that's still a thing in that sport. Isn't that interesting how there's nuance from quarterback, Cinco? Because the Stewart guy, when they put him in games, he had no damn idea what was going on, but, man, he could run around. He was a great athlete, that kid.
Yep.
Texas kid, right? Wasn't he a Texas kid?
Schaefer? No, he's from Florida.
No. Brandon Stewart.
Oh, sure. Yes, sir. I'm sorry about that. Texas, absolutely.
Hell of a physical player, man. Like, really freaky physically as an 18-year-old out there. And the fans, but they were so split here. All right, here's the deal. Nega Dave said 0-3 weekend incoming. Hey, Dave.
That's completely on brand, isn't it?
Well, Dave was once a little pink clam of clay. Nega Dave.
I get the feeling that Dave's going to show up at the pearly gates and complain to the Angel Michael or whomever's there that, man, I thought this would be a lot brighter here.
Big Dog in West Tennessee said, here's Basilio's live feed cam. Yeah, Dave, listen, buddy. Just what you got to do before you hit send is think to yourself, how is this going to look if I hit the send button? And more to the point, how is my host with the most, who I really love, going to feel when he sees that his coaching is failing? I want you to take that into account, Dave. Before you hit that button, just think. Just think of me. You know, I don't want to make this about me, but Dave, I'm coaching you. I'm taking time out of my busy schedule to give you lessons. I'm going to take you under wings. You and Joshy Boy are both going to be under wings now. And Dave, not everything's absolute, man. Dave is, Dave's a reactionary, Bri, isn't he?
Is that the real negative or a fake negative?
No, that's real negative. He says 0-3 weekend incoming. That's his take on the weekend. By the way, so the games are on Flow this weekend. Here's a good workaround for you. What these services are trying to do is, by having these events, they're trying to get you to put a credit card on there. And they know that a few thousand people will sign up and then forget that their credit card's there. A really great workaround is to go to your supermarket of your choice or your local, I don't know, like over here at Walgreens. I mean, my brain, when I don't sleep, is fried. Word recall. It's not happening. So just get a prepaid card. Put $20 on it. Put your card in there. They don't know that. And on your subscription, you put your it's a Visa, this is the number, and just leave it on there. And let it expire. That way you don't get stuck paying for, like a gift card. Give yourself a gift card. That's the workaround. Did it last year. And so there you go. Dr. Z DDS said, too much time wasted, Tony. Give us your Egyptian stream link. Unfortunately, college baseball is not streamed on the Egyptian streams. I was trying to help a buddy of mine with that the other night who's cut the cord. He said, where do I go? I said, hey, if there was a link, I'd find it for you. Because I'm not afraid. Let's just put it this way. I probably have more Chinese malware and Russian malware on my malware than Mal does on his ware, if you know what I mean. But
you got some bots, Tony B.
But what I want you to do is somebody gave us this last year. A caller called in. Said the way around this thing. And last year, Bri, it wasn't on Flow. It was on something else. What was the other network it was on last year, Bri?
I don't have any recollection.
Yeah, you
All
do.
I know is I didn't watch it, so.
Are you guys excited for this new Braves network? Sean, what is the Braves thing we're doing now?
Don't know. I wish you'd tell me.
It's almost like they're going back to the TBS model where
it's only been 3 years since I watched a game.
Titans Bill called me and said that Channel 8's picking up a bunch of games here locally through some subsidiary all over the Southeast. And then the Braves are broadcasting all the games because they got them back from their network.
How would one purchase that?
I don't know. Google it. I looked at it today and I got very confused. Do you need, somebody tell me this, because I'm already paying for it for our business, but do you need the ESPN subscription for that? The full Monty, so to speak? Does anybody know that? I'm just wondering how that's going to work. Bri, do you know? Do you have to have the ESPN package for it?
I don't. I'm wondering myself.
What's Ryan on the chat talking about? Can watch anything on the planet?
I think Ryan's got too much time on his hands.
Oh.
Good stick song or bad?
VSEE box? What's a VSEE box, mower boy?
Good stick song or bad stick song? Too much time on my hand, Cinco. Where were you on sticks?
I like Tommy Shaw. No?
Hey, Alan, how's the Braves network work? Does anybody know? How's the Braves network work? Braves thing is part of a regular MLB package with no blackout now. Oh, really? So I can watch the Braves here? Like if the Braves and Phillies play, they're not going to black it out for me? Which I think is totally asinine. The Phillies and Reds, because I subscribe to the Phillies package, me and my son split it. That's interesting. Alan said, I have no idea. I just watch. So you can buy it on YouTube TV now, they're saying, Cinco. You can get it now, Sean. How ridiculous was it before, Sean, when they had us all tied in the knots? I hope that's the case. I don't know if that's the case. I hope you guys are spinning me straight here. A few of you, no offense, are real brain donors. But, Sean, if that's the case, that's good news, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I spent so much money over the last several years getting a VPN shadow network, so they wouldn't know I lived in the Knoxville area, getting Major League Baseball. Everything was blacked out. I mean, I've joined everything. Bally's, I joined Bally's 1 year. Everything was blacked out. I spent a ton of money getting nothing.
Mower Boy said, Sean, he can come over. You'll get all the ESPN channels with his little widget. He'll hook it up anywhere for you. Now, Cinco, Mower Boy, probably, no offense to him, looks like he came off the set of America's Most Wanted, or was featured on Patrol Live during one of the 3 power plays over the weekend. Triple plays, I'm sorry, the 3 triple plays. Brad, do you ever watch it?
Watch. America's Most Wanted?
Jack believes, Tony, you don't take into consideration bad defense is, and one player doesn't do it, and half of the turnovers should not have been put on him. Jack, is it you talking about the Braves network, or what are we doing? We having a flashback here? Cinco, are you interested in Mower Boy coming to your residence and knowing where you live? Tell the truth.
I must think on that one. Well, they said here, Mower Boy is rapper Andy. Yeah, I'm gonna sit that one out.
Mower Boy said, I sure as hell am not Andy. Andy, I love you if you're listening.
That's a defamation suit right there.
Yeah, Andy's my boy. Let me say for the record.
He's going to find himself in court.
I'm going to go right down. I'm going right down. Andy reached out to me the other day on the YouTube. No, on the Facebook. And sent me, I just junk around on Facebook. I don't look on Facebook. But Andy sent me something. And when he sends me the lyrics to one of his diss tracks, it was on FanDuel last year. Barrett Fisher says now it's going to be on something called Braves Vision. Tony, how long did you go last night after the game? We went about 75 minutes. No, I'm sorry, about 90 minutes. We got off at like 12:30. Brian, what time did you get off? Listen to this, y'all. This is true. I went to Brian at the end for his final thought, and he had already conked out. But you don't snore, Brian. That's a good thing about you.
Yeah, I've been told that. That's a blessing. That's also, I think, a sign of better health too. I think I was out after an hour.
We were on about 90 minutes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Pretty next level. Yeah, when Andy did the Tennessee Tornado for the Oklahoma game, it's pretty great. Any final thoughts? Hey, listen, if you're listening back to this and you hear me eating, it's not because I don't respect you. I love you and I appreciate you listening, and I'm trying not to do this. But today's just one of those days. So, the Braves Vision package is being negotiated. Like Fubo and all the details should be released in 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, Phillies deal last year, you paid like $99 and you got every game. I think most people would do that. You'd do that, wouldn't you, Sean? Pay $100 to get to see your team play 162 games?
Yeah, if you could watch all of them. I don't want to just have the away games because being the Eastern time zone, I probably wouldn't watch them anyway. But absolutely.
No.
I'd sign up for $100 right now.
No.
If I can see all the games.
No. There's just never been a time where being a sports fan is as good as it is and as bad as it is at the same time. I mean, these college sports are such a mess. But they're kind of a beautiful mess. It's total chaos. But it's beautiful chaos. And the minute you get used to something being the way it is, it completely changes. The second you get used to something, trust me when I say this, somebody is going to jump into the portal in the spring. Tony, there is no spring portal. You go ahead and watch. You believe that, Sean? There's no way that's going to hold, that portal thing. No portal.
Where there's a way around a rule, there's a court.
That's... Big
Except in
dog.
Knoxville.
Big dog, my rap one day, I'm going to show you one day how I make it. In fact, I'm going to do a baking video.
Lay down a beat. Lay down a beat for him real quick. Just a little appetizer.
Should I do a baking video on, Brian, you think people would watch that? Tony's Kitchen? Would y'all, if I put that up on YouTube, would y'all look at it seriously? You think that thing would get views?
Yeah. I listen to Tony's Book Corner religiously.
Braves Vision will have its own app.
What are those desserts you made a couple years ago during Christmas?
Oh my gosh, pit cells.
That I didn't get any, by the way.
Did you get any?
Brian did, but I didn't.
Brian, were my pit cells any good?
I like the pitzels. They're kind of like waffles, sort of.
I made some chocolate ones, some vanilla ones.
Like some real thin waffles.
Yep.
I binge all of that on a rainy Saturday, my man.
You know what we need to do? Yeah. ASMR stands for what, Sean? That's that thing where they go like this.
It sounds like you can. You got a high def microphone.
No.
You can hear everything.
That's right. You do this thing.
That's what it stands for.
What's it stand for? Give me the acronym. What's ASMR?
Oh, I have no idea.
And they do this.
You can really hear it. Big dog. I watch those guys do that when they. I don't know. I kind of like doing that when they're fixing shoes or shining shoes.
Big dog.
Relaxing a little bit.
Big dog. Big dog.
Getting creepy.
Big dog.
I think it's time to go, Tone.
Big dog.
Getting creepy. That's what I'm talking about.
Is that it?
Off. Laura, come save us.
No. I can't have enough of that beat.
Say, Cinco? Did I relax you? Sean, close your eyes. Ready?
Absolutely.
Close your eyes, Sean. Ready?
Hey, Brian just doesn't know your skills on the wheels of steel. Break it down for him, Tony.
I think you're putting everyone to sleep again.
Love you guys. Thanks. Appreciate y'all.
See you guys.
See you.
I don't know. I think we got paid to do that. But I think I'm kind of silly. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I told Laura I wasn't going to go past 1 o'clock today. Because literally I slept like 5 hours. And I'm roached anyway. You know, I saw that on like the CBS Sunday Morning and they had a thing about the AMSR. That's what they do. They go. All right, till we meet again. Navy wife Allison, stop it. You know, they really ought to do like a GMAC with his eating coach. They ought to put like a GoPro on the eating coach. GMAC's like over there laying in a chair and he's like spoon feeding him. I mean, what's an eating coach do, y'all? Somebody tell me what we're doing now. We have eating coaches. Somebody tell me what I mean, what's an eating coach do? See, Allison's talking about people. Now, this AM, what does it stand for? Is it ASMR or AMSR? And what does it stand for? Can somebody please tell me what it stands for? GMAC a job at Cracker Barrel. He'll gain some weight there. Appreciate y'all. Thanks. I mean, I'm on. Oh, my. All right, here we go. Appreciate y'all. Come back tomorrow. You hear? We'll have Willie Heflin in here with Matt tomorrow, among others. Maybe we'll get a Bam or two.
Momentarily, keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word.
That encouraged me. I think the pitching staff's fantastic. I love the way, albeit Stone Lawless is having some problems, and I think that needs to be addressed. He may not be the answer there, but I like the way the pitching staff is paying attention to runners.
Yep.
Overall, I think the defense, it's had something. Marin had a tough night the other day. Third base is just going to be a deal here. Remember, Henry Ford's not a third baseman; he's a first baseman.
That's right.
But he's playing third because they think